Hey. This is Yo the Spiritualist. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is a pilot episode of my new podcast that I'm starting called I Am What Woke Looks Like. And it's a podcast where we're going to be talking to people who I like to call revolutionary insomniacs. And you might be asking yourself, okay, well, what and who exactly is a revolutionary insomniac? And I'll tell you who. These are people who are relentlessly busy waking up people's souls. And today, on my first episode, I'm going to be talking with none other than Corey Hops, who is a writer, an educator, and a poet here in Savannah, Georgia. And this is quite a pleasure for me because not only is he all of those things, he is also my husband. And no, I did not have to twist his arm to get him to come and do this. He did it willingly, okay? So, Corey has just written a new book that will be out for publication soon. And the name of this book is called Freedom Summer. So be on the lookout for that. And we're just going to talk to Corey a little bit today about Freedom Summer and what this project really meant to him. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing great.
Good.
Doing great. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to see you as well. So let's just dig right in. And I want you to tell, people who are out there listening, at what point in time in your life did you decide to be an author? And what was your path to publication?
What point in time did I decide to be an author? I've written since the time I could write. I've written little stories and little anecdotes and little scenarios, and I used to make them up, and then I would put them down on paper, and I would bother my mother to make her listen to them. And I used to say things like, I want to be a writer, or I want to be a poet. And my path to publishing or publications were I wrote a couple of small pieces for the local newspaper, and then my writing partner, Rashawn Bolden, who we wrote a book way back in 2006 called Urban Journalism. It was a book of poetry, and then now I've come out with a novel on my own called Freedom Summer.
Okay. And shout out to Rashawn. And if you guys haven't already picked up a copy of Urban Journalism, there are still several available for your reading pleasure. So make sure you check that out as well. All right, so but we really want to focus today on Freedom Summer and just talk about where you are with the process. What have you enjoyed most about this process, and tell us a little bit about what the book is about.
Okay. What I enjoy most is just building the book itself. I'm an independent writer, so I publish things independently. I enjoyed the process of learning how to build a book, put the book together. I mean, I knew that before, but I had never really done it on my own. And I did it entirely myself. So I had to re-educate myself on how to build a book and the parts of a book and how to make sure the book looked like a book. Of course, my favorite part was writing the book. I've been having this story in my head for a number of years. And it was all composed. So I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Right, where you wanted to go with it.
And the direction I wanted to go. So after I wrote out the story, it was just building the book. And that was really good because that's a skill that I hadn't used. So now I've used that skill, and every time I write a book from now on, I'm going to build it myself. I'm not trying to look for a publisher or anything like that.
Yeah, you're going to do it organically. Right. Exactly. Okay. So, and I love what you said about that, doing it your way, which makes it more authentic, I think, to the readers. And I can see wherein, the first book you wrote, Urban Journalism, or co-wrote with Rashawn Bolden, being a book of poetry. So that was a different set of dynamics.
Right.
Right. So now you've gone from poetry to being a novelist.
Right.
So whole different ball game. Did you find that process vastly different, or were there some similarities to that?
For me, the process is a lot different just because when you're writing poetry, you're having these small bursts of creativity. You get inspired, you see something, and you write about it, and you get in, you get out.
Right.
When you're doing a story, you have to sit in it, you have to be in it, and you have to stick with it. So it was all about consistency and being present every day that I wrote in that story. And mind you, I don't write every day. I'm not that disciplined.
Right.
But
which is fine.
Every day that I do write, I am in that story. I am there.
You're intentional.
I'm moving with intention every time.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That makes perfect sense. So would you say that with this particular work, would you say that there was anything that just kind of stood out for you? Any new quirks that you developed, or did you see yourself falling into some of the same patterns that you were in when you initially started writing, or do you feel like you've evolved? I guess I want to say as a writer.
I can see the growth in that. I see the growth when I write poetry now and when I write stories. And the growth is about being stronger in that element, or being more consistent, I should say. And disciplined. When you write a poem, I write out a poem, and I'm really good at writing poetry.
Right.
But I don't have to stick with it long. So my attention span doesn't have to be extended.
Okay.
I just have to be clever.
Right.
Yeah. I have to be clever. And I can write a strong poem because I can be clever. But when you're writing a book, a story, you have to be. It's not about being clever.
Right.
It's about sticking to the elements of the story. It's about being able to keep my audience engaged for an extended period of time. From the first sentence to the last sentence. I have to keep them engaged.
Gotta keep them hooked. Yeah. Gotta hook your reader.
Right.
So that's a perfect way to segue into this book, and I want you to tell us, what it's about. My original question was if you could describe it in 10 words or less. How would you do that? But you and I are both probably far too long-winded to describe anything.
I'm too wordy for that.
we do too much. Yeah, we do too much wording for any of that. So just tell us a little bit about what the book is about.
Freedom Summer is about a family searching for justice.
Mm-hmm.
In that the patriarch of that family is murdered. That's no secret. That starts, the
right.
book. But it's how they search. It's the search for justice and the journey that family, and in particular, the son of the patriarch, how he searches for justice for his father.
Okay. You did well.
It was not 10.
It was not
10 words, but
it wasn't very wordy.
I did all right.
It wasn't very wordy. All right. So, and of course, I've already read it. But I want you, again, this is not about me. I want you to tell us a little bit about the characters. Like, who was your favorite character to write? And why is that person your favorite?
Okay. For me, my favorite characters, they kind of changed. Mm-hmm. Because then I think about, if you had asked me this question 2 days ago, I would have gave you a completely different answer. So today you asked me who is my favorite character. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking my favorite character is a gentleman in the book called Old Punk.
He's my favorite too.
And it's because
he's my favorite too.
He is not what you see. Mm-hmm. He is not what he appears to be.
Right. It's kind of a mystery.
He's a mystery.
Yeah.
And he's way more than he appears.
Yeah. He is so much more.
And when you finally find that out, when you read the book, you finally find that out, you're like, but wait. Mm-hmm. And what? Mm-hmm. And that the development of his character was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Because he's not in the book a lot. Mm-hmm. He makes little appearances here and there. Yeah. And every time he makes an appearance, it's meaningful.
Yes. Very. Very profound. Very profound character. Characters like that, I consider them to be layered. Right. There's some layers and maybe a few hidden nuances with this character, but he by far got my attention in the beginning when I met him and kept my attention throughout the book. And I remember as I was reading it, I was saying to myself, when am I going to see or hear from Old Punk again?
Right. And every time you hear from him, it's
you know what I'm
every
saying?
time you hear from him, it's funny.
Yeah.
He's kind of humorous.
Yeah.
And you don't take him seriously. Mm-hmm. But you have to take him seriously.
But you have to take him seriously.
Because he's doing way more. He's way more than you think he is.
Yeah. Way more than what you think he is. And he's kind of like that character. It brings to mind that quote from one of my favorite movies, Independence Day. And I don't know if you remember when the president was giving that speech when they were about to go out and start fighting, with these aliens or creatures that come from another planet. And he was like, we will not go silently into the night. And that's Old Punk for me. He's not going silently into the night.
No. He's way He's way tougher than that.
Yeah, he's way tougher than that. So, would you say that you chase the squirrel when you're out there, developing these characters? Like, do you finish a character before you develop another one? Do you completely develop the character before you start with another one? Or do you just kind of, let them unfold, just kind of, I don't know, intuitively or instinctively?
It has to be intuitively for me. I am not at all a very disciplined writer. Mm-hmm. I don't write an outline. The story is up here. Mm-hmm. And every interaction that happens is a riff on an action that happens. It's action and reaction. This character did this, and in reaction to that, this character did or said this. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, these characters, when I start writing, these are not fully developed characters. Mm-hmm. Because when you're having a conversation in real life, if you don't know what you're going to say to a person. Right. You don't know how you're going to react to a person. So in that sense, the characters seem more real. Mm-hmm. Because they're reacting to each other. Mm-hmm. And it's not planned. Mm-hmm. I know the scenario. Mm-hmm. I understand what's supposed to happen. Right. Now, how that plays out, I don't know. That's a whole nother story. I don't know. I write it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. So tell me this, in lieu of everything that you've said. I don't know if you mentioned before, and if you did, I apologize. I may have missed it. But did you talk about the genre that this particular work was written in?
No. This is a work of historical fiction. Okay. And the reason, and it ties into the title of the work itself. Mm-hmm. Freedom Summer. Mm-hmm. Freedom Summer was in 1963.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
So, and Freedom Summer was a big summer in America. It was huge.
One of the biggest.
You had the Freedom Riders. Mm-hmm. 3 of them were killed, or murdered. Mm-hmm. You had Medgar Evers' death. Mm-hmm. You had Emmett Till's death. Mm-hmm. And I say death, but I should have said murders. They were assassinated. Yes. You had the March on Washington. Mm-hmm. You had all of these things happening in this summer. Yeah. Or in that year. Mm-hmm. And in particular in the summer, which is kind of a sense of irony, because as the temperature went up, the incidences went up. Mm-hmm. These terrible things happen. Mm-hmm. So, and not everything was terrible. The Freedom Riders did a lot, but you had that tragedy within that, and that is mentioned in the book, that the tragedy of the Freedom Riders. But those things happened during that year. It was a huge year. It was a huge summer. Right. So, in a sense, the story is about not only a family, but a community trying to gain a sense of freedom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And what would you say, if anything, was challenging about writing a historical, fictitious piece of work? Or would you say it was challenging?
The challenge for me is I didn't live through it. I was born 9 years after that. So, I read about it. I'm a student of history. I love history. History and English were my favorite subjects in high school and in college. So, the challenge is I had to go do some research. And I am no friend of studying. I hate.
And this from a guy who's a teacher, okay?
I hated school. And I'm a teacher, and I tell my students that, look, I hated school.
Yeah.
But
you always say that.
I ain't no supermodel.
Yeah.
I'm only about 5'8", and I'm pudgy. So I can't get things based on my looks. But I was pretty smart.
Yes.
I knew I needed to. Let me get this right the first time, because I ain't trying to redo a class.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, never that. Never that.
So it was challenging that I had to study, but it was also fun in that I learned about things that I didn't know just as a product of doing research.
Yeah. Well said. Now, in this particular piece of work, I know there was a main character. Who's that?
The main character in this book is a lawyer, an NAACP lawyer named Wesley Parler, and he's the son of he's a preacher's kid, and exactly, and he has and because his father is murdered, he feels a sense of duty, and he has the intelligence and the wherewithal to carry out that sense of duty.
Yeah. Which is a huge responsibility. One that he did not expect to have.
Exactly. He's living a good life. He doesn't live in the South. He no longer lives in the South. He lives in Chicago.
Okay.
He's a respected member of his community there, and when he has to go back home, it is like he is traveling back in time.
Yeah.
Because he has to learn or relearn. I gotta keep my head down.
For sure.
I cannot be loud. I cannot be boisterous. I cannot draw attention to myself.
Right.
And I have to keep my temper. No matter what happens.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. Because it is deadly. To lose your temper in the South was deadly to black people.
Definitely.
So
most definitely.
To have to subjugate your ego for a man of that amount of intellect was, I would imagine, in real life, would be a Herculean challenge.
Yeah. Just like you said, it's 1963.
Right.
It's freedom something. So
you have to know how to play. Yeah. You got to remember, how do I play this game?
Right. Exactly. So what would you say with this piece of work, and of course this is, again, it's historical fiction. And what I think I like most about historical fiction is it's not based on a true story, but it does have some truth elements in it, laced with a little bit of history. So with that being said, what would you like for people to take away from this book when they read it?
I want them to take away the book. No, I want them to buy the book and take it away with you and then read it.
And then read it.
You know,
yes.
Honestly, what I want people to take away from this book is that, of course, I want them to be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want people to understand that justice is important. It is important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is important for us to try to do the right thing, even if it is scary,
right?
Even if it is dangerous,
yeah.
Even if it is tough.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have long on this earth,
right?
Are you going to be a coward, or are you going to rise to the occasion in order to meet whatever challenges you have?
Yeah, because you know, I always say life is hard. Choose your hard.
Exactly.
It can be hard with you deciding not to do anything. That's hard. It's hard to sit there and see injustice play out and not do or say anything about it. It is almost as hard to be actively engaged in the process of fighting injustice. So choose your heart.
It is, but it's also liberating.
Choose your heart.
But it's also liberating.
Right, very liberating.
Because if you know that you are fighting the fight that you're supposed to fight, then it's liberating.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight. So, all of that being said, I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about, to date, you know, what's been like the toughest criticism that you've received as an author.
Oh, wow. The toughest criticism I receive as an author is generally from myself. I'm really tough on myself as an author.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be right. I want it to be entertaining. I also want it to teach a lesson. Whatever that lesson may be. Or maybe not teach a lesson, but you gain a lesson from it.
Right.
You know, I want that to happen. So I'm thinking critically about those things. What is this saying? What is this purpose of this piece of literature that I'm writing? I think about that. And there was a second part of your question, I think.
No, but there was going to be a second part, so you read my mind.
Oh, okay.
See, you know, this is a podcast. Don't do that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
They're going to be on to us. I was going to ask you as well, what was your best compliment? So initially I said, what's the toughest criticism you've received as an author? What is your biggest compliment that you've received as an author?
The biggest compliment?
And who from, of course, if you would like to share that.
my good friend and sometimes writing partner, Rashawn Bolden, he read the manuscript and he called me. He's like, "Man, you a genius." Now, as I have been reminded many times by many people in my life, I am not a genius. I'm not.
Maybe not in your eyes, but in many of our eyes, you are.
I may not be I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I can still cut.
Okay.
So,
come on, cut.
When that was a great compliment. The other compliment came from you because you read the book and you liked it.
I did.
And
I loved it.
You don't read a lot of novels.
Fiction.
You don't read a lot of
Not
fiction.
like I used to.
You read more informational things and self-help things.
I'm the researcher.
And research things. You want to know. You want to know why and when and where and what.
Yes.
And if I can get the two of you to say, yeah, that's good, then I'm usually okay. I'm like, oh, okay, well then, I know that other people will like it.
We'll probably, be able. It'll be well received.
So and you're not very into, like, even with poetry, you're not very into poetry, and if you like it, I'm like, score.
I'm good. I'm in there.
I can go recite this, and people will love it.
Yeah.
So, so those are the compliments that I look for.
Right.
If I can get that, then I know that once I release something, people will enjoy it.
Definitely.
For the most part.
And I think, you said something very important there. You talked about getting those two objective viewpoints, and I think Rashawn and I both are well versed enough and smart enough to know that we cannot and would not want to set someone we care about up for failure. So if there was something wrong, then we're going to speak on it and we're going to say, okay, look, I think you need to go back to the drawing board and do, A, B, and C.
And that is.
However,
that has happened.
However, and I think this is something, probably a message you've passed on to many of your students and that you might pass on to aspiring younger authors or even aspiring authors. They could be older or younger. Is that make sure you get objective point of views. You don't want them to be subjective because that can set you up, for a fall. So with that being said, what else would you tell a young aspiring or older, for that matter, any aspiring author?
I tell people, read and write. Just read. Just read and write. Read as many different genres as you can read. Write as much as you can write. Practice writing. Practice sentence structure. Try different sentence structures. When I read, I look for sentence structure. I like how sentences are constructed and how they're built. Some of them are built beautifully.
Yes.
One of my favorite writers, James Baldwin, wrote beautiful sentences.
Yes, he did.
And I've never read anything by him that I did not like. Nothing. And I look for that in what I read. and I read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I would tell someone who wants to be a writer, read.
Mm-hmm.
Don't discount reading.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a teacher, so I always want
your students
my
to
students
read,
to
of course.
read.
But you would tell an author that as well.
Yeah, read.
Yeah, read.
And write.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just write for the sake of, I just want to write and I'm in like a sound chamber where I only want to hear my voice.
Right.
You need to hear other voices.
Definitely.
And you need to see how those other voices influence you.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
You can't just and read some stuff you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's not for you.
Yeah.
You just you know, you make that determination after you finish. That was, you know, that sucked.
Definitely, because we've all read some things that we thought really sucked, but we had to read it because 9 times out of 10,
right,
it was for a class,
right, or just in general, you know, you get into books and that book wasn't for you.
Yeah, indeed, touche. Okay, so I think you have done a fine job of covering Freedom Summer and letting our listeners and readers know a little bit about who you are as an author. But I think just as important as letting people know who you are as a writer or an author or a poet, it's important to let people know, like, what do you do when you're not writing?
I sleep.
He does. He sleeps.
I teach, I cook, I write, I read. You know, I do that. You know, I want to travel more. I want to, you know, have different travel experiences because that opens up your writing as well. Those are the things I like to do.
I mean, sounds like a pretty good life.
It's all right.
So before we close out, I want you to tell people about this upcoming event that you have. I believe it's going to be next week, right after Christmas, on December 27th.
On December 27th at KB's Cafe in the Oglethorpe Mall in Savannah, Georgia, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., there will be an open mic. I will also be having a book signing, and I will read an excerpt from my novel. I might even do a little poetry. I don't know, but I will be there, and I hope people come out to see me, as well as the other artists that will be there. And we try to get some very good spoken word artists to come out. So I am very excited about that because my book will drop on that day. Yes.
So you heard it here first. KB's Cafe in the Oglethorpe Mall here in the beautiful city of Savannah, Georgia. 7 p.m.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Get me right. That would be like me to show up at 7, but no, I promise to be there on time.
Please be on time.
But please stop by. Pick up a copy of Freedom Summer. I promise you will not regret it. It is a page turner. Held my interest, and that is something that is very, very hard to do. Corey Hops can tell you that. He has first-hand knowledge. of the fact that my attention span is not quite as long as it used to be. But if you're looking for a good read, a good piece of historical fiction, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Tell people again who you are.
My name is Corey Hops, and I am what woke looks like.
Thank you for stopping by. Bye.